Hey guys, got a video here on the hobo stove I made. Doing this for you, Ryan. I've got a coffee can, just a 1 pound coffee can with the easy peel lid. That way there's no sharp edges on the inside there. Don't really matter either way. All I'm going to be using today is just a cheap little folding pocket knife, pair of pliers with a side cutter on it, coat hanger. The way I built one for my son, I actually used a drill with a bunch of different bits, but you don't have to. Even with a non-locking knife, you can do it safely. I start out by making me some cuts along the bottom here, just to get airflow in the bottom. 4 is enough. I usually try to alternate side to side. Like I said, this is just to get airflow for the wood that you'll be using. It doesn't have to be pretty. You can see some of the wrapper's not off of this yet, but most of that will peel off, melt off as we actually do our first burn in on it. It's very clingy material, as you can see. And 4. And if you've made them big enough, you can take your pliers and kind of squish them down a little bit if you want to. Don't have to. Like I said, all these are 4s just to get air in there to the flame. Then we need a door. I usually go about where the bottom line is. This is just going to be a small little opening to put your wood in. Again, it doesn't take much to cut it. It's an aluminum can. You will note I'm holding it so that the knife can't close up on my hand if I slip a little bit with it. And we'll come up about 2 notches, maybe 3. And come up again. And then come across just to cut the little flap out. It's not too bad on the edges. Take a file. If I had my multi-tool with me, which I don't, it is in my wife's possession at the moment, I could file these down with my multi-tool. The only other thing left we need to do this to make it workable is we're going to need something to hang this from our pack with, and we're going to need something to actually put across it to rest your cup on. So I'm going to cut the bottom of this coat hanger off, and then just eyeball it. I'm going to cut it about in half. And what I did for my sons was I bent these pieces over into a loose loop, like so. And I'll explain why in a minute. You can leave them straight, you don't have to. And then for the hanger, we'll just take this other section here, save that for another project later. We'll straighten this out a little bit here. We're going to want an end on it here. There's a car coming, so I apologize for the noise, but I'm just on a little back dirt road here. Vroom vroom, and they're speeding, of course. No big deal. Who cares? Alright, and then we're just going to kind of loop that over a little bit. That ought to work pretty good. Now for your holes, we're going to need 1 on each side. And all we need is just a tiny hole right at the top. Just make that a little bit bigger for the wire to go through. And then the same thing about on the other side. It doesn't have to be perfect. And make it just big enough to look.